Oh, yes, yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Oh, please, stop applauding. I know that most of you don't really like me that much. Come on, please. That's enough applauding. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, Vice President Joe Biden, and my fellow Americans, I, your pretend President Barack Obama, better known by my real name, Barry Soetoro, am here to give you this year's State of the Union. And I want to start by saying the following. All of us need to start to work together now. And what I mean by work together is I mean that all of you newly elected teabagger representatives, you're going to go along with what the rest of us are doing here, because that's the way it's going to go. We're not going to be having any talk about actually cutting the deficit. We're just going to be saying that we're going to cut it, but we're actually going to be raising it, because that's the way I roll. Now, to start off with, before we get going here on the particulars, we need to bow our heads for a moment of silence to remember that one person who could not be here tonight, Gabrielle Giffords. And the reason why we're going to bow our heads in a moment of silence is because I need to set a tone that obligates all of you to go along with whatever harebrained idea I have for increasing the debt. I want to guilt trip all of you into doing what I want, because that's the way it's going to go. Now, to start off with, we need to talk here a minute about all this contentious debate. Now, I want to state as a matter of opinion, and also as a matter of fact, that I don't think that any of you are in any way responsible for what happened down there, but you're going to act as though everybody thinks that you're responsible for it, because I need to get some spending passed here. Only I'm going to be calling it investment, because spending doesn't sound good anymore, because all you damn teabaggers just keep going around saying this and that, going on the news, talking about how we can't spend more than what we have. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard of. But anyway, now the thing that we need to understand here is that because of the Tucson shooting, we all need to work together. What that means is that we work and you go along. All of you. Because we're not having no teabaggers making decisions, especially that representative down there, Representative Bachmann. I don't want to hear none of this crap about her. I know she's going to be doing some kind of response to this later tonight. But that's besides the point right now. She's a pointless person, and so are the people that elected her. So, moving on down the line here, I need to tell all of you right now that America is doing great. I know that the 23% of you that are unemployed don't think so, but we don't need to be hearing from you, because you don't matter unless you got a job and can make me look good. That's just the way it goes. So moving on down the line here, the recession is ending. Wall Street is doing great, and that's great for me because that's where I get all of my campaign donations, and I'm going to need those in 2012 because I'm not going to be getting any small contributors that year. No, sir. I've gutted the entire middle class, so now I need to rely on the wealthy Wall Street elite for my future, and thus all of you need to rely on them for your future. And I know I've spoken in the past about reining in corporations, and I'm going to be saying that again tonight. As a matter of fact, I'm saying it right now. But the thing that I need to make clear is that if it wasn't for companies like General Electric, I wouldn't still be here, and there probably would have been 30 more Republicans re-elected, or elected, I should say, in the previous election. I'm having a little bit of a hard time thinking about it. Because you see, the thing is, it's all about me. I'm going to be talking about other people in this country, people that have done things that they did completely on their own. I'm going to be talking about the business and the individuals who worked hard to save the people down in Chile, as if I was involved in it somehow, which I was not. And I'm going to do that in order to make things look better than how they really are right now. And there's going to be other things like that too. I've got supporters of mine in the audience right now, regular, everyday folks that are not quite as smart as the people in the Tea Party and still believe the crap is coming out of my mouth. And I'm going to be using them as props to put a human face on my inhuman and utterly ridiculous ideas for policy, particularly domestic policy. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk out there about reining in spending and about reducing the deficit. Now, I'm going to placate you a little bit on that there, all right? I am willing to cut a minuscule few $100 billion over the next 10 years. But that's all I can do. All of this talk about actually getting the budget balanced, no, we can't have that. That's not the way things work around here. I have to listen to Paul Krugman, no matter how crazy that little bastard may seem. I have to listen to him, and I have to do things according to his model, his ridiculous Keynesian approach to running a country. I know it's hurting a lot of you bad, but you're going to deal with it anyway, because I'm the one in charge, me, not you. It's all about me. I'm talking about America, but it's really all about me. It's about what I've done, and about things that I've claimed that I've done even when I haven't, to make me look good, and to make my party look good. Because the truth is that we still are, and will continue to be, the party of big government, of larger-than-life deficits, and of no hope for the future, unless it is a future worthy of debt slavery. So, moving on, I need to talk about the little issue here of investments, because that's what we're actually going to be talking about. We're not going to be talking about the concept of debt, and we're not going to be using words like spending, because those are inconvenient for me. We need to invest in technology. We need to invest in things that lead to inventions like what Thomas Edison came up with. Now, I don't want to hear you talk about the fact that I actually participated in banning his invention, which I did, because I actually hate Thomas Edison and all these other people that are destroying the planet with their stupid technological advances. And I'm going to be pushing for green jobs that have nothing to do with people like Thomas Edison. And I'm going to be cutting subsidies to oil companies. I've been making it illegal for them to operate at all. But that's not enough, because they're still getting money, so they can still operate. And we can't have that. I know you guys are feeling the pain having to pay $3 plus at the pump, but you better get used to that. You better get used to paying as much as $4 or $5 at the pump, because that's the way it's going to be. Because I don't want you driving your cars around, polluting the earth, killing the planet. That's my religion. And as a First Amendment right, I have the right to tell all of you that my religion is going to be the law of the land. So moving on here now. Only the federal government can actually educate people. Only the federal government can actually make people productive. People don't educate themselves. Parents, family, you know, they're there, but they're not educating people. That's what we're for. That's what I'm for. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be using your tax money to do it. I'm going to be spending like there's no tomorrow, and you better get used to it. And the reason why you're going to get used to it is because the Tucson shooting was your fault. All your faults. It's not anybody's fault, but it is all your faults. You. I just want to make that clear. Now, to close this whole thing out, I would just like to thank all of you. Speaker Boehner, I admire you, even though I think you're a total bastard. And to all of you teabaggers out there, I love you, but I got to destroy you, because my survival as dictator of this country depends on it. So, in closing, I would just like to say to everybody here that we need a new tone, and that tone consists of you shutting your mouths and letting me do what I want, and voting for Democrats. That's what you're supposed to do. Not supposed to be electing these dumb teabaggers. I'm feeling antsy just as it is, having to stand around these people. I was brilliant enough to suggest the idea to some of the people in Congress that they sit with Democrats. That way it looks like there's less of them. But the truth of the matter is there's too darn many of them. There's dozens of them. And it's going to be creating headaches for me for the past 2 years. And I'm in a bad mood because of that. And because of that, all of you who voted for them are going to be feeling the pain. Because we're going to punish our enemies. You bring a knife, we bring a gun. And all that kind of stuff. Because this is a new civil tone. And this civil tone is going to be, I do things that I want, and you like it. So the state of our union, ladies and gentlemen, is strong. Thank you, and God bless America.